In the heart of Seoul, beneath the neon glow of countless billboards and the constant hum of the city, a new group of girls emerged, calling themselves Huntrix. Their presence on stage was electrifying, captivating every eye in the audience with an energy that seemed almost unnatural. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe moved in perfect harmony, each gesture and step precise yet flowing, as if guided by an invisible force. From the outside, it appeared as though they were simply talented performers rising quickly in the world of K-pop, yet beneath the spotlight lay a secret purpose known only to them. From a young age, the three had sensed things that others could not. Shadows moving against the flow of light, whispers carried on the wind, fleeting figures at the edge of perception. These were the signs of spirits lingering near the human world. They had been trained to see what was hidden, to sense the presence of beings that thrived in darkness and sought to influence the living. Their mission was not fame or applause, it was protection. The streets, the subway tunnels, and even the crowded markets could conceal malevolent entities, and the girls had learned to confront them with precision. Their training took place in an abandoned studio on the outskirts of the city, a place where the walls vibrated with the history of music long forgotten. Here, the sounds of K-pop were more than melodies, they were tools of power. Beats became pulses that could repel shadows, harmonies transformed into shields, and synchronized movements were rituals that disrupted the influence of demonic forces. Every choreography was designed not only to dazzle, but to create patterns that echoed in realms unseen, guiding lost spirits toward peace and keeping dangerous entities confined. As Huntrix performed in small clubs and secret showcases, their influence grew. Fans sensed an intensity beyond ordinary music, though they could not explain it. Each performance strengthened the bond between Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, not only as performers, but as guardians. They felt the threads of energy connecting them to the world of spirits tighten with each synchronized spin and jump. They realized that their rising fame was not merely coincidental. It was intertwined with the very balance between the human world and the supernatural. Night after night, as the city lights flickered and the echoes of their songs lingered in the alleys, Huntrix came to understand that they were part of something larger than entertainment. The dance floor was a battlefield, the music a weapon, and the audience both shield and conduit. With each movement, they claimed a little more control over the unseen threats surrounding Seoul. The birth of Huntrix was not just the debut of a musical group, it was the awakening of protectors, three young women stepping into a world where rhythm and magic intertwined, where the applause of fans carried the weight of hidden battles, and where every note could tip the balance between safety and chaos. By the time they left the stage each night, exhausted but unwavering, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe understood that the true journey had only begun. Their voices and movements would continue to reach far beyond the limits of ordinary perception. Their purpose bound inseparably to the melodies they created, and their destiny tied to the unseen dangers lurking in the spaces between the bright lights of Seoul.
Seoul's stages shone with bright lights as a new group emerged, calling themselves the Saja Boys. Their rise to fame was rapid, almost unnaturally so, drawing attention not only from fans but from those who sensed disturbances beneath the surface. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe watched closely, noting subtle inconsistencies in the boys' behavior. Their smiles seemed sharper than ordinary. Their eyes held a glint that did not belong to the human world. Rumors spread of fans vanishing after concerts, of people lost in dreams that never ended, and the three guardians understood that something sinister was at work. Through careful observation and the use of hidden charms, they discovered the truth. The Saja Boys were demons, their human appearances masks that concealed ancient and malevolent entities. Every performance was a carefully crafted trap. The music, the lights, the choreography all worked in harmony to ensnare unsuspecting souls. Fans, caught in the thrill of the show, became vulnerable, drawn into an illusion that fed the boys' dark power. Each cheer, each scream of excitement amplified the supernatural influence, making the stage a bridge between the mortal world and a hidden, perilous realm. Huntress realized that confronting these demons required more than mere observation. They combined their own live performances with protective rituals, their dances becoming wards, their harmonies weaving barriers against the corrupting energy of the Saja boys. The girls synchronized their movements, creating patterns that disrupted the illusions and allowed trapped souls to regain their awareness. Music became both sword and shield, rhythm a weapon that pierced the veil of deception, and melody a force that restored balance. Night after night, the struggle intensified. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe felt the pressure of the dark presence in the audience, a weight that grew heavier with each note of the Saja boys' songs. Yet with every synchronized step, every pulse of their music, they strengthened the connection between themselves and the people they protected. They learned that the key to overcoming the demons lay not in confrontation alone, but in harmony. Harmony between their own energies, between their hearts and the listeners, and between the seen and unseen worlds. The Saja boys' curse revealed the delicate interplay of light and shadow, joy and danger, fascination and fear. Huntrix understood that the power of music could be wielded for protection as much as for entrapment. Every performance became a battle, every note a decision that could free or consume a soul. By embracing their unique gifts and the bonds between them, the girls began to unravel the demonic influence, proving that courage, skill, and faith in humanity could turn the tide even against beings that seemed unstoppable. In the end, the stage was no longer just a place for entertainment. It became a battlefield where rhythm met darkness, where melody defended the innocent, and where Huntrix learned that their mission was greater than fame. It was the preservation of life itself against forces that hid behind the masks of charm and talent. Huntress followed a subtle trail of clues that led them to a hidden location, a place where demons moved unseen between worlds. The site reviewed itself as an abandoned club, its structure a confusing tangle of corridors, mirrored walls, and secret passages, forming a labyrinth that seemed alive with whispers and shadows. The air was thick with lingering energies, the faint hum of forgotten music vibrating through the walls, hinting at the presence of entities that had thrived in the darkness for centuries. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe entered cautiously, aware that every corner could conceal danger. As they moved through the winding halls, they began their dance, each step a deliberate act of both artistry and ritual. Their movements generated streams of light that carved paths through the dimness, illuminating hidden forms and revealing the shapes of demons lurking in the mirrors and behind walls. The reflections twisted and multiplied, creating illusions meant to mislead and ensnare. But the girls' synchronized rhythm countered the distortions, anchoring their presence firmly in the mortal realm. The power of the demons was palpable, pressing on the edges of their minds, threatening to disrupt their coordination and weaken their connection. Rumi felt the gaze of an ancient spirit, a being older than the city itself, watching and testing them, seeking to manipulate their motions and feed on any misstep. Each movement required complete concentration, every combination of spins and steps a precise channel for energy that both defended and attacked. The labyrinth seemed to respond to their dance, shadows recoiling from the light, dark corners slowly clearing as the music and magic intertwined. Their collective energy became a shield, a pulsating force that pushed back the malevolent influence. The melodies carried power beyond sound, vibrations that cleansed lingering darkness and restored the lost souls trapped within the labyrinth. Each liberated spirit shimmered briefly, leaving behind a faint glow as it returned to the natural order. And the girls could feel the weight of the club lifting, the oppressive atmosphere lightening as they advanced deeper into the maze. With every hall they cleared, the girls discovered remnants of past battles, echoes of those who had fallen to the labyrinth's tricks. The knowledge sharpened their resolve, teaching them to anticipate deception, to read the rhythm of shadows, and to harmonize not only with each other, but with the invisible energies that flowed around them. By merging their music, dance, and magic, they transformed the club into a conduit of light, a space where the darkness could be confronted and overcome without harming the innocence caught in its grasp. The labyrinth's final chamber awaited, a space where the densest shadows gathered and the most powerful entities lingered. As they entered, their synchronized performance reached its peak, the combination of rhythm, melody, and magical intent forming a beacon that pierced through the deepest darkness. The girls moved as one, every motion precise, every note imbued with protective energy. And in that moment, the labyrinth began to surrender. Shadows dissipated, hidden spirits were freed, and the ancient presence retreated, acknowledging the strength of the young hunters. By the time Huntress emerged from the labyrinth, the club was transformed. What had once been a maze of terror now stood silent and empty, a testament to the power of unity, music, and courage. They understood that this victory was not final, but the lessons learned of trust, synchronization, and the intertwining of light and sound would guide them through the challenges that still awaited in the hidden world of demons that lurked beneath the streets of Seoul. At the concert arena, the energy was palpable, yet it carried an unusual weight, as if the air itself remembered events long past. Ghostly figures began to materialize among the living crowd, semi-transparent shapes that shimmered faintly under the stage lights. These were the fans who had disappeared years ago, their forms wavering like smoke, their faces etched with longing and silent expectation. The echoes of their past cheers and laughter resonated faintly around the arena, creating a haunting harmony that both captivated and unsettled the living audience. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe immediately sensed that their music did more than stir excitement. It reached across the veil separating the mortal world from the spiritual. Every note, every beat carried the potential to awaken lost souls, drawing them toward the rhythm of the living. The girls adjusted their performance with careful precision, transforming each song into a ritual. Movements became gestures of guidance, choreography a map of connection between the realms. The sound waves from their instruments formed currents of light, sweeping through the arena, brushing against the wandering spirits and offering them comfort. The ghostly fans responded, their ethereal forms moving in sync with the music, swaying and spinning as if still participating in a celebration interrupted decades ago. Some seemed hesitant, their figures flickering at the edges, torn between the desire to engage and the fear of vanishing. Huntrix focused their energy, channeling both the intensity of the living crowd and the lingering sorrow of the spirits into melodies that resonated with healing power. The music became a bridge, binding the two worlds, and the arena itself transformed into a sacred space where presence and memory intertwined. As the performance continued, the girls felt the demonic entities nearby weaken, their hold on the arena slipping under the purifying power of song. Shadows that had once crept silently among the audience recoiled, unable to interfere with the harmonic light. The semi-transparent fans began to glow faintly, their expressions softening as relief replaced longing. One by one, their restless energy dissipated, leaving a sense of tranquility that hung in the air like a whispered promise. Huntress realized that their role extended beyond combating demons. They were mediators of closure, guides for souls trapped in the echoes of memory. Every chord struck a balance between life and death, the rhythm of their feet a heartbeat resonating across the spiritual divide. By the end of the concert, the arena felt lighter, the lingering sorrow replaced by a quiet reverence, and even the remaining shadows seemed to retreat, acknowledging the girls' power. Through this ritual of sound and movement, the stage had become more than a venue. It had turned into a sanctuary, a place where the lost could find peace and the living could witness the connection between worlds. Huntrix understood that each performance carried immense responsibility, but with every note and every step, they reinforced the bond between music, memory, and the unseen, shaping a future where the energy of both spirits and humans could coexist harmoniously. The influence of Saja Boys grew stronger with each passing night, their dark energy spreading like a shadow through the city. They no longer confined themselves to the stage, infiltrating the studios where Rumi, Mira, and Zoe trained. Equipment shattered under invisible pressure, monitors flickered with ghostly static, and walls seemed to pulse with malevolent intent. The girls realized that the conflict was no longer a private struggle confined to choreography and rehearsals. It had escalated into a war that touched every street and building of Seoul, where ordinary life and supernatural forces collided. Huntress devised a strategy that transformed each performance into a carefully orchestrated ritual. Songs were recalibrated to channel both rhythm and intention, melodies resonating with protective energy while beats acted as barriers against intrusion. Their choreography became a map of defense, movements flowing in sync with the structural energy of the city, the hum of streetlights, the vibration of subway rails, the subtle currents of the river cutting through the heart of Seoul. Every gesture, every step was a calculated strike against the encroaching demonic influence. During nightly confrontations, the girls danced through streets and alleys, casting streams of luminous energy that sliced through darkness. K-pop rhythms pulsed through the city like a heartbeat, each note weakening the grip of Saja Boy's magic. Shadows recoiled at the touch of synchronized motion and melody, and the air itself seemed to hum with tension and resistance. The girls drew strength from one another, forming an unbroken circle of power that amplified their abilities. Their unity became a force that could push back the demonic surge, yet the battles demanded absolute concentration, as a single misstep could shatter the ritual and allow the enemy to gain ground. As they moved through abandoned clubs, neon-lit streets, and hidden corners of the city, Huntrix learned to read the ebb and flow of demonic energy. Every encounter left traces, signs of corruption and lingering chaos, but also moments of clarity and victory. The girls discovered that the more they harmonized with the environment and each other, the more effective their power became. Light and sound intertwined, creating waves that cleansed the spaces they passed through, slowly reclaiming them from darkness. Each small victory fortified the girls' resolve, yet also reminded them of the stakes. The city itself became a battlefield, with ordinary people unknowingly moving through zones of spiritual conflict. Huntrix bore the weight of this responsibility, knowing that every night brought a new challenge, a new test of skill and courage. Their dance was no longer just an art, it was a lifeline for the city, a weapon forged from sound, motion, and unwavering will. By the end of each confrontation, the energy of Saja Boys would retreat, but never vanish entirely. Huntrix understood that this clash of forces was ongoing, a cycle of darkness and light that demanded vigilance, unity, and relentless creativity. The city had become both stage and battleground, and the girls' every performance ensured that the balance between human and supernatural, music and magic remained intact. The culmination of the struggle came in the heart of the city, on a vast stage illuminated by lights that seemed to pierce the night itself. Fans gathered in anticipation, unaware of the true battle unfolding around them. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe stepped onto the platform, their presence radiating energy that blended performance and power. Every beat, every note, and every movement had been meticulously prepared, forming a symphony that transcended music. It became a conduit of magic, intention, and collective will. As Huntrix began their performance, waves of sound intertwined with visible streams of light, sweeping across the crowd and the surrounding streets. The energy called to every lingering soul, both human and spectral, awakening the lost and guiding them toward calm and clarity. The Saja boys, sensing their influence waning, attempted to resist, but the magical composition penetrated the barriers of their illusions. Masks of charm and glamour began to crack, revealing the tormented entities beneath. Shadows recoiled, and the demon's hold on the city weakened with each harmonized movement. The girls moved as one, their choreography a fusion of grace and power, creating protective currents that encircled the stage. Fans became unwitting participants in the ritual, their cheers and rhythmic movements amplifying the spell. Energy cascaded through the streets, cleansing spaces tainted by dark influence, and the air shimmered with the resonance of balance restored. The Saja boys' forms dissolved, their demonic essence scattering like mist in the wind. One by one, they returned to their human appearance, freed from the malevolent force that had consumed them. Rumi, Mira, and Zoe felt a surge of fulfillment as the final chords reverberated through the city. Though the battle was concluded, they understood that vigilance was eternal. Darkness never fully disappeared. Yet in this moment, the harmony they created had proven that music and magic together could protect, heal, and inspire. The stage became a symbol, not only of victory, but of unity, the convergence of artistry and spiritual strength. The city, once threatened by unseen forces, now pulsed with renewed life. Huntrix, having merged K-pop and supernatural guardianship, became more than performers. They became legends. Their story would endure in whispers, in songs, and in the hearts of those they had saved. Music was no longer just entertainment. It was a vessel of protection, memory, and hope. The girls had forged a bond that transcended ordinary understanding, a unity of sound, soul, and purpose that would forever define their mission and the legacy of Huntrix.